head of the Chilean military. Schneider announced he would uphold Allende's confirmation by the Chilean Congress. He was unaware that men from within his own ranks were being recruited by the CIA.
The senior military officer, General René Schneider, is thought of as the principal obstacle to a military coup because he believes the Chilean armed forces take their oath only to the Constitution.
In Santiago, the CIA helped design a plan to kidnap Schneider.
They thought they would provoke the military into declaring martial law, suspending the elections.
The CIA's Santiago station chief cabled Washington. General Schneider is the main barrier to all plans for the military to take over. Washington cabled back, constant pressure from the White House, more important than ever to remove him.
It's therefore decided Schneider must go. And for this task, men of proven record of criminal violence are recruited. They're given sophisticated assassination weaponry through the United States diplomatic bag.
A Track 2 CIA communique confirms this. The cable reports that plans against Schneider were moving along, requesting 8 to 10 tear gas grenades, 3 .45 caliber machine guns with 500 rounds ammo each.
And they're given large financial inducement.
In late September, Weimert, then U.S. military attaché, had been secretly assigned to work directly with the CIA in Santiago. An avid equestrian, Weimert's love of horses had made him a close associate of officers in the Chilean military, an ideal go-between. The CIA station gave Weimert a war chest of cash to pay out to anti-Allende groups. On October the 15th, Kissinger received word that Track 2 coup plotters had made a failed attempt to kidnap General Schneider. In a meeting with the CIA, he expressed his concern that plans for a coup at this time cannot succeed. In his memoirs, Kissinger would later write that he had turned off Track 2 at this meeting. But the very next day, the CIA sent a cable to Chile. It is firm and continuing policy that Allende be overthrown by a coup. It is imperative that these actions be implemented clandestinely and securely so that the United States government and American hand be well hidden.
If you're Henry Kissinger, everybody knows what you want. Does he know that they know what he wants? Sure. Does he know what they're going to do or how they're going to do it? Are you kidding? Anybody that would tell him what's going to happen is never going to do a briefing again. Do you really think somebody would take a piece of paper into the White House that say a consequence of this may be a death of somebody? Do you really think so? No.
Immediate Santiago, submachine guns and ammo being sent by regular courier, leaving Washington 0700 hours, 19 October. Due arrive Santiago late evening 20 October or early morning 21 October. Preferred use regular courier to avoid bringing undue attention to operation.
Mr. Kissinger, his presence here should not be interpreted as meaning that he himself was ever involved in any plot to assassinate any foreign figure.
In the Church Committee, the CIA testified that Kissinger had been kept fully informed of the Schneider situation every step of the way, even after October 15th. Kissinger maintained that he turned off all coup plotting on October 15th.
For Kissinger to be correct, this would go down in history as one of the greatest misunderstandings between the White House and the CIA. But when you read the documents, Kissinger was very clear. He said, let us keep pressure on every Allende weak spot in sight, now and into the future until such time as new marching orders are given. The CIA walked away from its meeting with Henry Kissinger, believing it had been mandated to continue trying to foment a coup in Chile.
On October 19th, according to the CIA, Kissinger's aide, Alexander Haig, was briefed by the CIA on continuing coup attempts.
One can only presume that Alexander Haig, whose duty it was to report to Kissinger on this type of information, fully briefed Kissinger on what the CIA told him.
According to the CIA, on October 20th, 5 days after Kissinger claimed he had turned off Track 2, he demanded an update on the Schneider situation.
There was no policy since to assassinate any foreign official.
He lied.
As far as we were concerned in the White House, the thing ended on October 15th. Then I think around October 23rd or so, I don't remember the exact date, they kidnapped Schneider and in the process killed him.
It may be impossible to know precisely what happened, yet it is hard to understand how, on October 19th, the CIA could have shipped unmarked guns to Chile without authorization.
He knew Schneider was certainly going to get killed, but not by us. You see, therefore it's okay. That's the way it works.
Not assassination and not murder. The hearing was very clear about that. It was accidental in terms of the United States.
But isn't kidnapping a crime?
Oh, kidnapping is, it depends on what your objectives are. I'm not going to justify it. They were not my policy.
If you were found standing over a dead man in the street with a smoking gun in your hands and the police come and you say, well, I'm sorry, but I was only trying to kidnap him, this in court does you no good at all. A murder committed in the course of a kidnap, any action committed in the course of a kidnap aggravates the offense.
The Chilean police investigation did not find any evidence to support a kidnapping. After the murder, the CIA commended the Chilean station for doing an excellent job. The CIA internal inquiry revealed that $35,000 was paid to one of the killers after the killing. Perhaps only a legal inquiry will reveal the truth.
If you could develop a scenario, if you could develop a factual basis to find that Henry Kissinger was complicit, then you could sue him in the courts of the United States. You might face some statute of limitations problems, which you'd have to try to overcome by saying that the duplicity with which Henry Kissinger has dealt with these issues, saying one thing for the official record and another thing in private and hitherto unreleased records, there'd be some ground on which to say that the statute of limitations was told by that kind of concealment.
After Schneider's death, Allende was elected, but the efforts of Kissinger and Nixon to overthrow Allende would ultimately succeed. In 1973, military forces launched a coup in Santiago, killing Allende. Augusto Pinochet would assume power and begin a reign of terror that would last 17 years. The date was September 11th. 28 years later to the day, the Washington Post announced a lawsuit brought against Henry Kissinger by Rennie Schneider, Jr. to the death of his father. The news would be overshadowed by the events of later that morning.